So the Warriors had a pretty low-key, but very good offseason. They didn't make huge splashes, but they were able to get some very nice upgrades that could pay off huge dividends in signings of Otto Porter Jr., Nemanja Bjelica, and Andre Iguodala, and rookies Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. If Klay can return to even just 80% of his former self, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that I think they'll be borderline championship contenders if everything goes their way. So, let's break down the Warriors starting lineups and rotations, how their new acquisitions will fit with the team, and what my record and standings projections will be for them this year. And very quickly before we get into it, if you want to see more interesting NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I really do appreciate all your guys' support. And let me know down in the comments below which team you want to see a season preview and prediction video on next. So for the starting lineup, I have Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter Jr., Draymond Green, and Kevon Looney, with Thompson starting over Porter Jr. when he in fact returns. And for the bench, I have Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, Andre Iguodala, JTA, and Bjelica as the small ball 5. And for guys who can see some spot minutes, I have Damian Lee, Kuminga, Wiseman, and Nico Mannion. So it was tough to decide on the Warriors rotations, as they are actually pretty deep this year with a lot of good talent likely to struggle seeing minutes. While it's clear that Klay will start when he returns, it's still going to be interesting to see who starts until he comes back. For now, I do have Wiggins sliding to the 2 and Porter Jr. slotting in at the 3, and this gives the Warriors a ton of versatility on both ends of the floor in their starting lineup. On offense, the Warriors have solid shooting and spacing with these 5. We all know how amazing Curry is, so not going to go over too much with him, but Wiggins proved last season that he can be a pretty big threat from 3, especially when he gets hot. He shot a career-high 38% from downtown last season, making defenses pay when they have sagged off him to defend Curry. He's solid as a spot-up shooter, and he's been great as a secondary scorer who can take some pressure off of Curry, and I think he'll be even better once Thompson returns and takes even more defensive attention and pressure off of him. So don't be surprised to see Wiggins shoot 40% from downtown next year, and that would be huge in helping to further space the floor for himself and his teammates. However, who I'm most excited for the Warriors next season is Otto Porter Jr. The oft-injured forward has been excellent on both ends of the floor when healthy, and I think he can have the best season of his career with Golden State. People forget just how good Porter Jr. is, as with the Bulls only 2.5 years ago, he shot 48.8% from 3, averaging 17.5 points per game. He's a terrific floor spacer with a career 40% shooting from downtown, and keep in mind that he has never played in an offense that will allow him the open shots and spacing he'll see next year. With the defensive attention away from him, he's going to be a knockdown catch and shoot player who is a decent cutter as well, and also a solid mid-range shooter, and I could see him shooting between 40 to 45% from 3 next year with Golden State. And as always, we have Green starting at power forward in the starting lineup, and he'll be key in initiating the offense and playmaking for others, and I also do have Looney starting at the 5 as well. However, I could see Bjelica getting minutes here with Green shifting to the 5, and Bjelica would be huge in helping to space the floor and provide an excellent passing big next to Draymond. But the Warriors will likely start Looney as a more traditional 5 who can help protect the rim, and he'll provide good defense and efficient finishing at the rim when he does in fact play. Moving on to the bench, this was tough to decide, but we'll start off in the backcourt, and I think Poole will get the chance to run the point more this season. He showed improved passing and shot creating last year, and he'll get the opportunity to run the show when Curry is out. Next to him, I'm making a bold prediction, and I have Moses Moody seeing minutes over Lee. I'm really high on Moody, and I think he's going to be a rotational player right out the gate with his shooting and scoring, and a bench backcourt of Poole and Moody is so explosive on offense. I also expect Iguodala and JTA to get minutes as well to help provide some more balance to the second unit, as they'll help provide that boost of defense next to Poole and Moody, who I don't expect to be plus defenders right out the gate. And finally, I see Bjelica likely being the backup 5, where he'll be a huge mismatch against opposing bigs with his ability to stretch the floor and pass that should help give Poole and Moody free lanes to drive in. I also wanted to touch upon the other players who I don't have making the regular rotation out the gate. First off, I think Kuminga has a ton of potential, but he's still very raw, as we saw in the G League and at times in the Summer League as well, and I think it would be best if he were to play most of his minutes in the G League, continuing to develop his game. He'll get a ton of reps here, and it'll help him be more ready next season to show his two-way potential backing up Green then. However, I do think he was still a great pick for Golden State, and if he can put it all together, he can certainly be a star in the future. Moving on, I could see Lee getting some rotational minutes here and there, but I think Moody will get the nod as the main backup too, given his potential and explosiveness on offense. Lee is still solid as a third string too, and he could certainly be useful in certain matchups when the Warriors want even more floor spacing with him rather than, say, Iguodala. On that note, the backcourt is way too crowded and Mannion is going to have a hard time seeing minutes. He's a very good third string guard in my opinion, but for him to see consistent minutes next year will be really hard. Expect him to play with Kuminga in the G League next year, and those two could potentially form some solid chemistry that could be useful if they both crack the rotation next season. And finally, we have James Wiseman, who is a big question mark for Golden State. He's coming off an injury and I don't think they'll trade him yet with his value being so low, but he did not look too good last season with the Warriors. He just looked lost in the Warriors offense, and having to recover this offseason and missing that crucial development time this summer really stings. I don't think he'll see consistent minutes right away unless he somehow takes a huge leap, but he could see some time here and there. He could be useful in matchups against more traditional bigs, and he could help provide some more rim protection and size in these matchups. However, I think the biggest thing he'll bring next season for the Warriors is a potential trade asset if they do look to move him, and he could be big in helping to get that Warriors that extra star next to Curry, Thompson, and Green. Overall, the Warriors look to have a bounce back season next year and they look in great position to do so. Again, I do think this relies on Klay coming back to even just around 80% of his former self. I do think the Golden State Warriors are borderline contenders who can beat any team in the league on any day, and they should be able to make the playoffs this year. I have them going 50-32 next season, finishing with the 5th seed in a loaded Western Conference. It could be even higher, but I do think we have to keep in mind that Thompson will likely not be ready until mid-season, and the Warriors have a lot of injury-prone players, but they do have enough depth this year to make the playoffs comfortably in my opinion. How far they'll go in the playoffs, we'll have to see, but they could make a deep run if everything goes right, and we'll see if the Curry, Thompson, Green, and Iguodala old core can make one more big push to the playoffs this year, before it's likely that Andre retires after this season. So that's a wrap. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want some more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when this video will be coming out. Also, be sure to follow me on IG and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball or business. Just drop a comment down below my photo or DM me and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there. Drop a comment down below on your predictions for the Warriors season next year. Do you think Curry will win MVP? What do you think their record will be, and how far do you think they'll make the playoffs? Let me know as I do your comments. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say here as well. So with all that being said, once again, thank you guys all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on our next video. Peace.